Hey dudes and dudettes, here with another Path of Exile video for you. In this one I wanted to discuss some stuff with you on a build that I've always thought about since I saw the item and what might go into it. I've thought about doing this because some people like, some of my wonky builds that I create, and and they think about playing them or upgrading them, and trust me, you can upgrade all my builds. I'm not a min-maxer, so there's plenty that you can push out of those builds. But I was always thinking of these two combos. It's Soul Wick's Cobalt Jewel, sorry, and I'll read it in a second. And then the Bitterbind Point Titanium Spirit Shield. And these go together, so it's not something that's outlandish. But no one I've seen runs Soul Wick. Let me put my keyboard up there. I won't be needing because we're going to be discussing things. Now, Soul's Wick here says limited to 1, so you can only have one of these on. 2 to maximum number of specters. 45% reduced mana cost of raised specters, so you can do it a lot. Specters have 851% increased critical strike chance. This goes up to 1,000. So mine that I got was only 851. I found it, if I remember correctly, and so you'd want to go for the 1,000 crit chance one. And then specters have a base duration of 20 seconds, so your specters don't last crap for time, so you're going to want to take things that increase their duration. And then specters do not travel between areas. So if you ever played Diablo 2, this is very much like the revive skill in it. If you know revive, you would revive them and they'd last, I think, what was it back in the day, a whole minute. You could get them up further. And I used to love playing that. It was one of the first it was the first character in Diablo 2 that I got to a really high level in the multiplayer. Was a Necromancer that used Thorns, Iron Maiden curse, and he would send them in. There's no Iron Maiden in this, obviously, but if you could get this up to say where they last a minute, that would be nasty, I think, because of the 1,000 crit, and then you'd stack crit support stuff in whatever item you socket them in. And I can't help but think that it would be very nasty. Now, it wouldn't be the strongest build in the world because you always need corpses. So, a lot of bosses, if you had to go to a new area, would suck. Azaro would be a pain, stuff like that. And of course, you could use your Desecrate to pull up corpses, but really the fun of it would be running through and resurrecting corpses and getting a real strong one. I think really if you have this equipped, I think it should let you resurrect rares. One rare, but something like that. It does need a buff for some people to use it, but not for me to use it because I will use anything. And then Bitterbind Point Titanium Spirit Shield, it just goes so well with it, and I'll explain. So 40% increased spell damage, 203% increased energy shield, so really good energy shield. Specters have 98% increased maximum life. See how they get beefed with life, and you could get really, really high Spectre life. Gain Arcane Surge when you deal a critical strike. Your raised Spectres also gain Arcane Surge when you do. So you're kind of rewarded for casting a little bit with your Spectres. And then 45% increased critical strike chance for spells per raised Spectre. And then I think this has like 2 little unveiled or synthesis type mods on it, and you can see here 1 to level of socket support gems, so you could get some other stuff on there that might be different. And so with this adding 2 to specters, you can get up to, let's say roughly you're getting up to around 8 specters out, so you can see how much extra crit chance you're going to be getting. This is going to be massive amounts of crit for any spell you use. It's going to push you really high. The thing is having something that that you can keep casting for your specters. Well, keep raising your specters every minute, or refreshing them, but then casting something that's going to crit. Now, I did think of a build that uses this with these, where it has the 100% increased maximum life, and then you take some other stuff with the specters that have life, and you use degeneration on them, so they explode with the minion instability, So I thought of that, but then I thought to myself, what if there's like a spell that would really work well with the crit? So that's what I'm spitballing right now. What kind of spell would you be running with your specters? Obviously, you could, run your normal everyday spells, but it would be helpful if it was something that lasted a little longer, so you could curse for your specters, or you could keep resurrecting your specters and keeping things at bay. With that, also with this, I'd suggest getting some minion movement speed, like investing a lot in movement speed. But I would also say, like, get your specter damage up extremely high with jewels, whether you have to take 10 jewels or what. Get your specter damage up high, because 1000% chance to crit, and then you add all that crit gear to them, and you curse with Assassin's Mark for them, or have it on a blasphemy. They're going to crit a lot, and make sure you add like crit extra damage and to it, and power charges. Somehow if you could feed your minions power charges, it would be good, because you can't use Stygian Ace because they go down between areas and every 20 seconds. So I'm just asking out in the comments, what do you guys think? What would you use spell-wise with something like this? Or what's your take on a Souls Wick build? Because I know this gem jewel can be used. I know it can be used for something very fun, and we're just ignoring it. I know it's going to be like the Revive Necro, and if it worked, it would be awesome, especially for Spectre people. I mean, you can't, of course, keep your Spectre, but it'd be fun to see, all the different Spectres you'd be resurrecting and what you'd come across. Because if you're going through a zone and all of a sudden you resurrect a Spectre that no one bothers with, or you don't bother with, and all of a sudden with critical strike they become insane monsters, hey, then we found a new Spectre that no one thought of, So that's my take on it. It's not the new build I worked on for the next league. It's just one I've been spitballing around. I come back to every once in a while, and I have some of my own things on this which I can talk to you about. But I don't want to like make anyone pick or think, oh, that or that. I want to hear your opinions on all of this. I know a lot of people say it won't work, it's too low damage, but we're talking about the fun here. I think it would be okay damage, more than you'd think, when you give Spectres 1000% increased critical strike chance just off of this. So yeah, and that doesn't include like all the jewels and stuff you'll be getting and everything. And I just can't help but think that there's got to be some combo with it, some combo somewhere. So look for the combo, and I don't know. This is the weird thing to me. I thought about using this, and I would have to test it. I'm gonna have to get a Necromancer to test it, or test it myself. But you see this here, Necromantic Aegis. All bonuses from the equipped shield apply to your minions instead. I was thinking to myself, what if this gave all your Spectres 45% increased critical strike chance for spells per raced Spectre? Would it work? Because then if you had 8, you're gonna get such a high crit chance that even if your minions had like a 5% chance, it's gonna be massive. And so I just don't know. I don't know. So let's see if anyone spitballs and something on it. Have any of you worked with this, noticed this or anything? Let me know in the comments below. See what you guys come up with, because it sounds so fun. It sounds like it'd be hilarious fun. Yeah. Just a video discussing this. I still haven't revealed my build that I'm going to be using in the next league, which I'm excited about. But if you guys want to know anything about that, let me know. And yeah, respond in the comments below about all this stuff. see what you guys come up with. And as always, take care, be safe, and be cool to each other.